If you're sick, you take your medicine, right, to make you feel better. But what happens when the medicine isn't available? We're in a scary time right now, not just here in Baltimore, but across the land. Roosevelt Leftwich tells us about this medicine shortage. Rosie.
Well, Jamie, drug makers are citing many different reasons for the shortages of some of the most popular drugs used in hospitals and some of the most popular drugs that you can even get at your local pharmacies. The supplies are just not there, and it's disappointing, especially to folks who have devoted their lives to making others feel better. How do you tell someone who's in pain that the only thing that they need that can help them is just not available? It's a tough thing for pharmacist Arnold Davidoff to tell people, but it's happening more and more. A lot of drugs that were readily available just a few years ago are now in short supply or simply not available. And they're simple things, drug names that you've heard for years.
We never know when the next shortage is going to occur. We get no advance notice that medicines will be in short supply, so stock up. That does not happen.
Really?
No advance warning.
Davidoff says Adderall is an example. Cheaper generics for the popular attention deficit drug are hard to find, and when they are, what used to be a $17 bottle is now more than $100. And the brand name Adderall is more than 3 times its cost just a few years ago. The drugs at the pharmacy aren't the only ones in short supply. In addition to Adderall and Ritalin generics, the cancer drugs Doxil and Taxol, surgical Valium and Versed used in IVs, and all sorts of injectable antibiotics used by hospitals are in short supply. In all, more than 200 drugs needed for everything from cancer treatment to psoriasis are in short supply or have been simply discontinued. But whether it's drugs in a pharmacy or drugs used in a hospital, pharmaceutical companies are citing production problems and raw material shortages for some of the issues. But when you've been a pharmacist as long as Davidoff, it all comes down to being able to help people. And if supplies are short, for whatever reason, he says it can be disheartening.
Very frustrating, especially when you know your customer's patient, and you know, let's say you have an autistic child or a child that's really not in good shape, and you know that child can't get their medicine, or also a person in pain. How would any one of us like to feel when you can't get medicine to keep you from being in pain? So.
Now, to give you an example of just how bad this is, the Davidoff brothers have been running the Tuxedo Pharmacy since the late 1950s. They say popular drugs have had shortages before, but this is the absolute worst that they've ever seen it in more than 60 years. President Obama issued an executive order back in October for the FDA to step up its investigations about drug shortages to try to work with companies to get supplies of critical drugs back up. Roosevelt Leftwich, ABC 2 News.
All right.